Okay, so I've got the basic setup that I want in Photoshop, but now I've realised that I want to make some changes to my borders back in AutoCAD and bring those changes across into Photoshop. So I'm going to switch back to AutoCAD, and then on the Model tab I can draw using the same techniques that we've been using already. So on the Draw menu, I'll go and draw a new line, and I might just come from the new point here across to the left, and going fairly quickly here because these are things you would have done already. So with offset, make that 2.5 and click above and below. I can delete this center line now and use trim, remembering to press enter to start, and that way I can easily choose just the things that I want to cut away. So I might just draw in another line here to divide this up a little bit more, so again coming down here just to make some simple changes. And then again, I'll use offset. This time I'll make it 5 and just offset that line to the left. And again, I'll use trim, enter to begin with, and that way I can again just choose the parts I want to take away. So that's just revision. But then also this time I'm going to fill this in to make it a solid border. So I'll make a layer for that for the hatch. I'm going to put a solid hatch in, so I'm going to go back to Layer Properties at the top, make a new layer, and I'll just call that Hatch. I'm going to change the colour of this new layer to any colour really, but I'm going to use grey. And this time I'm going to make it the current layer. So that's the last button in the group of 4 at the top. Or you can double click on the little diamond shape next to the layer name, and that does the same thing. So I'll close this now, and you can see up here, Hatch is the current layer. Now I'm going to click on the Hatch button in the Draw panel. You'll see in the notes in those exercises it tells you to go to the Draw menu. You can choose Hatch from there as well. But again, from the Draw panel on the ribbon, obviously it does the same thing. So if I click Hatch there, then launches the Hatch routine, which you can see opens up a special tab that has all the settings. So you need to take note of that when you're working with this option, and choose the solid pattern, which should be in the top left. And then you should just be able to come down and click inside the borders. And if you've used a graphics program to fill in things, you'd know how much easier this is. In most other programs you would have to define those borders. In AutoCAD it will just find them for you. And so there you can see I can just click inside, a bit like Magic Wand in Photoshop I suppose. And then having defined the border, I'll press enter to complete the hatch. So now I've got a filled in border. I'll go back to the layout that I made earlier and repeat the steps to make the PDF file. So on the main menu I'll choose print, continue to plot single sheet, and as always, even though I'm pretty sure the settings are right, I'll click the preview button just to make doubly sure. There we are, that's what I want. So escape, OK, and that will make the file. And I'm happy to overwrite the one I've made before, so I'm just going to click Save. And it'll tell me it's already in use. Okay, normally that would be OK, but I must have it still open. Okay, so in that case, if you get that message, click OK and just change the name. So I'll call this New Border. So down the bottom there you can see the file name. So I click save and it's made the PDF file. If you get a message... Yes, I'm recording. Yep, yep. So it's fine. So here you can see that it's asking about text recognition. There's no text here, so that's irrelevant. I'm going to click no, and again cancel. So I'll close the file there, and then just like before, I'm going to go to Photoshop, and then under File, I'll choose Open, and I'll have to browse to find my file. You may not need to do that. So there's my new file called New Border. I'll click to open it, and just leave the default settings. Okay, so this is in a separate file to the one I've been working on. So I need to copy this, and to do that I'm going to go to Select, choose All, Edit, and then Copy. From the double arrows in the top right corner, I'll switch to the file I saved earlier called Modernist Poster. And then you can see that I've got the layer called Lines at the top there. And I'm just going to turn that off temporarily by clicking on the little eye symbol to the left. So you can see that my border's now disappeared. I'll probably delete that layer in a moment, but for now I'll leave it and then just go to the... Yeah. So I'll now go to Edit, and I'm just going to choose Paste. So we don't need to use Paste Special this time, just Paste. And you can see it's gone in exactly the right position. So if you use that method, that's why it's good to use AutoCAD for these things, because AutoCAD's the most accurate program you'll ever work with, and you can position everything perfectly, and then it's easy to update into a program like Photoshop. So I've got my new borders, and now I can get rid of that layer I'd made earlier called Lines. So I'm simply going to drag that onto the trash can symbol at the bottom to delete that layer. So my new layer called Layer 5, just to keep things organised, I'll rename that now as Lines. So you can see also that the images I brought in before are black and white. I actually don't mind that, because these buildings, especially the one on the right, would have been built in an era where black and white photography was normal, and it makes them look like original photos, which is a good thing. All the original photos we find of these buildings are usually black and white. That's obviously a more modern photo, but I'm happy to, I actually want that to be colour. So I'll bring that one across now and show you how to make it colour. So I'm going to go to Select and then choose All, as I have been previously. Go to Edit and then choose Copy. Now I'll switch back to my original file, Modernist Poster. But before I paste this one in, I'm going to go to the Image menu and then Mode. And you can see here why everything's black and white in this file. It's because it's on grayscale. So I'm going to change that now. Will anyone want to be brave and guess which option there will give us colour? That's right, spot on, that's good. Do you know what RGB means? There, oh, yeah, no, you know what it is. So just red, green, blue.
Yeah, but it's set, Photoshop is setting RGB, but
it is.
printing is set in
CMYK, that's right. That's good. So if you know that, that's right. So CMYK is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And they're the other primaries, so that's good. So it's a good way of remembering the primary colours as well. So have a look at those things when you choose those modes. And if you're still working with red, yellow, blue as the primaries, you need to change the way you think a little bit when you start working with computers, because they're actually more accurate than when you work with paint. With paint, red, yellow, and blue is okay, but red, green, blue is actually more accurate. Yeah, that's fine. So here we go. It's asking us about merging layers, and I'm happy to click Merge. And, oh no, sorry, we don't want that. So undo that. That's annoying. Sorry, we should be able to change mode without losing the layers. Sorry, just choose Don't Merge. Sorry, I'm being stupid. Okay, so don't choose Merge. Sorry, that's really silly. Don't Merge is all you need to do there. and that will keep the layers. So now, as before, I'm going to make sure that I've chosen a layer below lines to place my photo. So any of these layers underneath, I'll just choose. And then I'm going to click inside one of the shapes there with the magic wand tool. So maybe I'll go for one of these circle ones. And then under Edit, this time Paste Special and then Paste Into. So now again, to adjust the size, Control T, or under Edit, Free Transform. And then you can stretch these obviously the same as before, but remember, if you want to keep it in proportion, hold down Shift, and that will lock the proportions so the width and the height go together. So there we are. I just want to get the Bauhaus text from this. Really, I don't care about getting the whole building. There we are, that'll do. So again, once you are finished with the transform, double click to apply it. So I'll just repeat that one more time. So back to another image. There's Mies van der Rohe. I want to get the one of Corbusier with his glasses off because that's a bit more unusual. There we are. Okay, so again, just like before, select all, edit, copy, Control A, Control C. Back to the modernist poster file. Magic wand to select an area, edit, paste special, paste into. Actually, I'm going to go for the triangle. So it's just frozen. So, there we go. Try it again. There we are. Okay, so I've done new magic wand, and again, edit, paste special, paste into, Control T, and let's see if he fits in there. Might not make it. Maybe we'll adjust that a little bit, but that's not too bad. Okay, so again, I might just adjust that up a little bit. So you might have noticed there, I went to transform without selecting anything, and that will actually work. So if you go to a layer, here I can choose a layer on the right. Without selecting anything, you can actually go and choose Free Transform, and it will select automatically, which can be really useful. So you can see there, even just by clicking now on these different layers, it's automatically selecting those areas. Can save you a bit of time. But there we are. So that's all you'll need for the images. The final thing will be to add some text. So you have the text tool on the main toolbar there, and you can choose any fonts you like. So I might go for a fairly standard one like Swiss 721, which is also called Switzerland Condensed. Choose your font size, and you can experiment with those to find something that you're happy with. Choose your colour. So if you want a black background, then you might want it, or a dark background, you might want white for the text colour. But if it's a dark background, so if it's a light background, then you might want black. So you can simply choose top left corner or bottom right corner of this colour picker. Okay, so here I can do some text in this light area now that I've set that to be black, just by clicking it and dragging to make a rectangle, and type in the text I want. Modern architecture. Okay, if you expand that window, the text will adjust automatically, and if you select the text with the text tool, you can change the font and the text size after you've made it. Double click and it should go into the text tool, but if it doesn't, you can just click on the text tool over on the left and then you should be able to click into the text box to edit it. So here maybe I'll change the justification to right, and then again I can move the borders there. Okay, so there we are, and notice it's made a layer for the text as well. So I can turn any of those things on and off, and it's good to try that with your layers as well. And there we are, so that should be the last thing you need to do to finish off the assignment. And again, don't forget to save it, keep saving it as a Photoshop file as you go.